distancing, washing our hands, and taking all the and doing all the things that we've been told to do to keep away from the virus, okay? Because we want to stay alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. Thank you so much. And I want to thank all the beautiful musicians that we've had today. I mean, you boys and girls are so talented, and you have challenged us. And girls and boys, if you're able to do something this season, like learning to play the keyboard, the violin, the guitar, please take advantage of this time, and especially for those who are still at home. Like now in Kenya, we are not going to school until next year. So that means we have enough time to grow our talent and to do many other things. All right. So right now I'm going to go ahead and invite our hosts for today. I'm going to invite Mr. Tapan. Are you here with us? Sorry, not our host, but there's someone who is going to teach us coding today. I don't know whether he's here with us. Mr. Tapan?
I'm there.
Yes, so Mr. Tapan, we are going to just give you a few minutes to tell us a bit about coding, so that those who are interested in learning coding in this season, that they can reach out to you.
Sure. First of all, thank you for giving the opportunity. And I think so today I heard some really lovely voices, to be very frank, and it was quite different from what I have been doing so long in my day-to-day work. So it was lovely voices, especially I think so Frederic Chow. She was too good. She was too good with singing the Arabian Nights. So I was quite impressed with that. Let's go on to the coding part of it. So coding is also something like music and art, and it's a form of art if you take it like an art rather than as a study. So coding, did you share my screen? Allow me to share screen. You have to enable me, Joy.
Okay.
Joy yeah, please.
Yes, let me just, let me see. Amanda, maybe you can help me to make him co-host.
Yeah. Am I the co-host now?
Oh, nope, just a minute. Let me just find Amanda.
No.
Sorry, Amanda, are you there to help me make Mr. Tapan the co-host?
Okay, till the time you make me the co-host, let me just give some introduction on what is coding and how people can learn coding primarily. So coding is kind of writing a piece of script which we can use it for creating web apps, websites, and it is as easy as simple music and art, except that you need to put effort in learning initially. But once you learn it, you will start enjoying it. And yeah, am I given the rights? No, still I'm disabled. So coding helps you to learn things in a very interesting manner, and then once you start writing code and then start seeing your website come up, your applications come up, you start enjoying these, because these are all your babies, your creation. And like any other website like Facebook or Twitter or WhatsApp or whatever the tools that we use, even the Zoom that we are using, they have been coded, they have been written with a script behind it, and that's the reason we see. Even for that matter, if you see the keyboard that you play today as a part of your, I see Melinda with the keyboard out there, that has got a software built underneath it in the form of a chip. And in that chip, you have got the code written. So when she presses the keys of the keyboard, you hear a music, you hear a tone. All this is being programmed by the code below it. So that's the reason we use code in our everyday life, be it a refrigerator, be it a washing machine, be it a mixer that we use in our houses for day-to-day work. All of them has a code behind it. There's a code that has to be written behind it. So yeah, so I have got the share of the screen. So let me just give you a brief of how do we learn coding the easy way. It's very easy. Coding is the process of using a programming language to get a computer to behave how you want it to. So all the computers are nothing but a terminal, and then once you start coding in that, you give them instructions to the computer to perform in a particular way. So every line of code tells the computer to do something, and a document full of such lines of codes is a script. So, and each script is designed to carry out a job. Say to turn on the TV today, we have got even the Amazon Echo today, which controls different devices in our houses. So there is a code behind it which is written, which instructs the TV to start, with the lights to start, lights to go down. So this job might be taken as simple as an image to change its size. So that is what is all about coding. In other words, coding is a skill where you take instruction step by step in a task and translate it into a language the computer understands. Since computers do not communicate like humans, so we tell the computer to do certain things in a particular way. So that is a method of communication. So code is nothing but the manner in which a computer has to communicate. And they normally communicate in low-level language, which is also called as binaries, and in zeros and ones. So it is like a switch. You on and off a switch. Similarly, code generates zeros and ones, which is on and off as a switch. And coder writes the instructions using a programming language. So this is the very, very basics of coding. So we have to take control of these computers to using the programming language. Is it hard? Is it really hard to do coding? Coding is not hard. It's like, as I told you today, you're singing so well. Similarly, coding is also one kind of art, which if you learn to do it, you can do it very well and you can really enjoy it. It's like enjoying. Today we enjoyed a lot. Similarly, coding, if you start learning coding and then start doing coding, you'll enjoy a lot as you code. So coding isn't hard. It requires more time, it requires practice. Like any other art form, it requires time and it requires practice. And the reason you might think that it is hard is because that you may not get immediate results. So unless and until your code works, you see your website working, you will feel that, oh, it is very difficult. But once somebody helps you, you get a mentor who helps you to learn coding, and you can put the code in and it starts working. You see the website coming up, you see your application coming up, you see some devices working, then coding is not hard to learn. Writing code for a program that adds two numbers, for example, is in a couple of minutes you can do it. So it is not a calculator, but it is a computer that you have to train, but it can act as a calculator which can add two numbers. So definitely coding requires mathematics as well in underneath it, and you can learn mathematics as a kind of as you learn coding. So that is another advantage of learning coding. While creating your own operating system could take long times of years. So complex systems are also there, but that may take years for us to develop. But coding is not that hard for a small bit of programs that we can write. Okay, so you can do very many ways of doing coding, and even a computer science graduate does coding. You can do through online courses, you can go through a boot camp, or you can teach yourself coding using different books and online exercises. As kids as young as 7 years can start coding, and coding for kids has now gained quite a kind of popularity. Most of the schools are now doing coding, learning coding. There's a course in every school. You need to put efforts and time. It takes around 10 hours to really master this. But every day, if you put 10 hours, you'll be really good at coding. What you require, so you need, you can build applications using coding, and you need to learn a programming language. What are the different programming languages? You can have simple programming language for static websites if you want to do. You want to learn WordPress. For dynamic websites, you need to learn PHP. You need to learn a little bit of HTML, CSS to make a look and feel of your website. You need to learn something of a little bit of JavaScript. So as you move from a static website to dynamic website, you have different kinds of programming languages. You have C, C++, you have got C# in the Microsoft group of languages. You've got Java, you've got PHP. So coding is what makes it possible for us to create computer software, apps, and websites. Your browser, your operating system, the apps on your phone, Facebook, all these are written based on code. So coding is used for communicating with computers. People use coding to give computers and other machines instructions on what they have to perform. We use coding to program the websites, apps, and other technologies to we interact with every day. How will you learn, start programming? So as I said earlier, have access to a computer and the internet. You need to have a minimum computer of 8 MB RAM with a maybe around 500 GB hard disk, and you need to have an internet. It's very essential today because everything is digital and everything goes on the internet. So you need to have internet access and computer. You need to read a lot of books. You need to take courses. You need to read blogs. So blogging is one important part in coding as of today. So there are many bloggers who make it a business as of now, and these blogs are written through codes. You can watch videos like YouTube. You need to pick up a code editor. There are simple code editors which are available today, right from Atom to Visual Studio Code, and then so many are there in the market. You have to choose one which suits you, and you have to find a language that is very interesting to you. As I told you, there are different languages from C, C++ to Java and PHP. You can choose any of them. To begin with, you should start with WordPress. That's the best way I suggest. So how do you become a good coder? You remind yourself that you have a lot to learn. You cannot just say that, okay, one piece of code I have written, I have learned everything. No, you stop trying to prove yourself right and learn and learn and learn. And the code works isn't that means that you have learned coding. It's where you have started to understand coding. You have to write it 3 times. Practice makes you perfect. You have to read the code again and again, which is called as also code review. You have to write code and not just assignments. Don't take up any assignments which a school gives you. You have to do it every day. You have to write new lines of code, not just take an assignment. And you need to have a friend along with you always. You have a buddy programmer who can check your code and say that, oh, this is what, here you have made a mistake and this is how it should work. And the bottom line, it is that you need to learn the techniques and not just the tools which are there for many in the markets to just plug and play and drag and drop. You need to learn the technique behind coding. So I'll just stress on that coding is basically literacy in digital age, and it is important for kids to understand and be able to work with and understand the technology around them. Having children learn coding at a young age prepares them for the future, and coding helps children with communication, creativity, maths for more important point to stress, writing, and increases the confidence level. Is it boring? No, it is not boring. Once you start kind of seeing your website, you start enjoying it. It's fun. And how do you improve your coding? You do practice online, you read code by someone else, try on different ways of doing the same thing, put your code through a debugger, take an online course, and use open software. It is free of cost, so there's no money that is required. And you need to join teams. You need to join development teams. There are outside the world, there are so many teams who work together in different geographies. Not necessarily that they are on the same country. They can be in different countries, and they can come as a team and write a piece of code. Okay, so I'll just skip off all these things. This is basically it's stressing on maths. That's very required. There are 4 types of coding: imperative, functional, logical, and object-oriented. As we go ahead learning coding, you'll be going through each of these one by one. Machine language is, as I told you, the TV, fridge, your Brixer, all they work with machine language. There's an assembly language which is also there, which is below the machine language. And then there's a high level language which is there. And there are different types. So as I told you, C, C++, Swift, all they are high level language. We go. The low level ones are the Fortran and C. So you get many things at free of cost to begin with. Code Academy, Free Code Camp, Corsa, EDX, Code Wars, Code Conquest, GA- Khan Academy. Also, Udemy has a low-cost training materials which you should go, but definitely just don't buy things, purchase things, and start learning. You need to have a person who can teach you what to learn and how to learn. So I think so. With that, I would like to finish my presentation. I feel that if people want to learn more from this, they need to contact us. We can really help them with how to start with or begin with coding. And once they are on the right path, then only guidance is required. They don't require further training, continuous training. They can just be guided. So that's it from my side, Joy. So go ahead.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Tapan. I think that was amazing. I know maybe children are asking themselves, what can I do with coding if I learn coding? Maybe you can tell us, what can someone do with coding?
Yeah,
you know, especially at our age.
Yeah. So at your age, the first thing that can start doing is to write small blogs and create your own channel, and the world starts knowing you. You can put on Facebook, you can put on YouTube your videos, what you're doing. You can do through coding. You can do the same thing through coding. You can drive this. So the art that you hold today as music, you can create your own music channels. You can create your own websites to put your music in that channel. You can reach to people through social media. So once you start coding and once you start knowing social media, you can really communicate to many people in the world, and they would love to hear you. So today, if you take control of how you're going to do the social media, definitely your art will be recognized by many people. Right now, you might not have that ability. You can write games in this. You can write your own games, and then you can spread it to the world. You can tell people. You can invite your friends to do games. Gaming is one major industry which is there, which comes out from coding. So there are many things which children can do today, and many of the children in schools today are doing that. In fact, my daughter is in her late schooling, and she's being taught the same kind of coding, and she has asked me to help her to learn it. So that's what I'm doing nowadays.
Okay, there you have it. You know, you can do so much with coding. You can create your website, your channel, and put, you know, your music there or play your keyboard there, and so many things. So